Tax rises are looking increasingly inevitable after Sir Keir Starmer unveiled £7 billion of inflation-busting pay rises for public sector workers. Economists have warned that this will inevitably lead to a further increase in taxes. The government has already handed pay rises of more than 3.5% to millions of staff in the NHS, the armed forces and schools. And now economists are saying that the only way to pay for this is to raise taxes. Analysis by The Telegraph reveals that the 3.5% pay increase for public sector workers will cost the Treasury around £7 billion in the first year alone. On top of this, there are also likely to be further increases in benefits and pensions. A further £7 billion of inflation-busting pay rises for public sector workers on top of the 3.5% that they've already got. This will cost the Treasury a further £7 billion in the first year alone. And if you add that to the 4% inflation that we've already got, you can see that the only way to pay for this is to raise taxes. It's as simple as that. There's no other way to pay for it. We can't borrow the money because we're already borrowing too much. We can't cut back on public spending because people want more money. The only way to pay for it is to make people pay more tax. Economist Ruth Porter said that with public sector pay going up faster than prices, this will put pressure on politicians to increase taxes. She said, "With inflation higher than it's been for the last 40 years, it is clear that the government will need to find ways to increase revenue to avoid further borrowing and debt. With interest rates already so high, this will not be easy. But ultimately, the reality is that taxes will have to rise." Even before this latest announcement, economists were predicting that there would be a 5p tax rise on income tax next year. This would mean that a basic rate taxpayer would be paying an extra £90 in tax each year. But with these new pay rises, it looks like this could be just the start of the bad news. The government is already under pressure to U-turn on the 3.5% pay rise that they've already given to public sector workers. If they do U-turn on that, it will save them £7 billion. But if they don't, and they go ahead with the pay rises that they've already promised, then it looks like the only option left is to raise taxes. What do you think? Should the government U-turn on the pay rises? And if not, how do you think they should pay for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.